No, don't feel guilty.
You have
Don't
the
feel
moving
guilty.
up mic, the haunted mic.
Marty's in the house. We got Marty Sumichrast from cbdMD. He's the CEO. And literally, I just had a little thing happen to me over the holidays. I got punched in the face from my little cousin. And the first thing I did was reach for the cbdMD lotion, put it on my cheek. And there you go.
Poof.
No pain. No pain.
There it is.
Welcome to the show. How you
Thank
feeling?
you very much. I feel great.
I figured
Thanks
I'd
for
share
having
that
me.
story with you.
Yeah, well, those little kids, they get to you,
Seriously. So it's so great to have you.
Thank you.
Good morning. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning here in New York City. And I usually wake up, I take my CBD, I do the tincture.
That's what I do.
Yeah?
I've even brought it. It's in my bag, so I take it every morning as well.
So that's your CBD routine, wake up.
I wake up, I take my CBD, I brush my teeth, and then I move along.
For people out there that really don't know too much about CBD oil, like you say you wake up and you take your CBD, what would you say to the people out there that haven't tried CBD, like how they can get into it slowly?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, you come to our website, cbdMD.com, and you go look at our products. And depending on what you're looking for, whether it's our tinctures, our gel caps.
The gummies are so good.
Thank you. Our gummies. Everybody loves our gummies.
I'm obsessed.
It really is. It's one of our best sellers. It's amazing. And I have it on my desk, and I eat it, I think, sometimes just because I love the taste, So
I love them, and there was like a hangover cure for me during the holidays. CBDMD gummies.
There's a tagline in there, CBDMD gummies, hangover. And our topicals, we have a huge array of topicals as well. So, generally people come in and they like to try the topicals. But we do sell, our tinctures are our number one leading seller. And try something, try it. There's different strengths. We have this one right here is our 3,000 milligram, but we go down to 300 milligram in every bottle. There's about 30 dropperfuls in every bottle. So, you just kind of do the math, right? So there'd be 100 milligram you would be getting in each dropperful. And you can, take a flavor that you'd like. All our flavors seem to be, pretty consistent as far as demand is concerned. People like the berry a lot. I forget which one I'm using. This is orange. Orange, actually.
Orange.
So that's good. And get into routine. CBD is something that you need to take, though, every single day. It's not, it's not something that you just take, particularly the ingestibles, you just take once and that's it. So it's something that is part of your daily regimen. It's part of your life regimen, So we tell people, if you're going to try it and stay with it for 30 days and then see how it helps you. Okay. And then, dosaging is a big thing, right? We recommend that you go to a couple different independent sites for dosaging because we have to be very careful what we say. We don't make any claims, health claims, or anything like that. We feel that there's enough information out there to give everybody a peace of mind to go out there and our business is, as is expanding like crazy.
It really is.
I think we're the fastest growing CBD brand in the country right now.
And you guys are the only ones listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
We're the only ones listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
That's huge.
So that provides us with a tremendous amount of credibility. And
Totally.
It's allowed us to grow, both online, grow, everything as part of the business, whether it's employees, whether it's retailers, whatever it is. So, but it's been quite a journey, and we're really excited about 2020. 2019 was the year of building out the infrastructure. We went from 20 people to 175 people in 10 months.
That's incredible.
We just took a brand new office building in Charlotte where we're headquartered. We just took a big new warehouse. We just expanded all of our manufacturing. It was a heavy build year, a heavy investment year, but that's kind of behind us now. And now it's just growing the business. And we say next year is about products, right? Because I think 2020 is the year of the product for CBD. I think the days that you could just come out with, Jennifer and Marty's CBD line, and that's what's going to make it, is not going to make it in 2020. Well, I know, but you've got it's maturing, and so products are critical, right? And so you'll see us come out next year with a couple really innovative products, which are going to be great for our consumers. So we're excited about that. Profitability that we say the product, profitability, and credibility. Those are the three things we talk about for 2020 at our company. And so we've made the investment this year. Next year we'll be profitable, and we're working hard to get there, as well as maintain growth, right? Because you don't want to give up on that, right? Particularly at an early stage in the industry. So we think we're gonna have a really high growth year next year, and we'll get to profitability probably in the fall, maybe sooner. We want to get sooner. And then credibility, right? I mean, just every aspect of the industry, right? You come out of cannabis, right? And there's this kind of, this shady, industry to some extent. Oh, well, it is, right? And, you've had a lot of characters, you had a lot of, and so you want to, kind of rise above that, right? And so things like the New York Stock Exchange listing, things like, being profitable, things like, we have a great board of directors. We have just going down every part of the business and saying, how do we get this thing better, whether it's service providers, whatever it is, so that a year from now, you can look at the company and go, wow, they have, the best of the best all around them, right? And I think that's a natural progression and growth of any company. So those are the three things we talk about, products, profitability, and credibility for 2020. So
I love that. And you also have some big celebrities and brand ambassadors working with you guys.
We do. That's
pretty major.
We do. We probably have the biggest athletic group. We call it Team cbdMD. And it was part of the build we talk about in 2019 is assembling that team, and not only just assembling them, because you can go pay money and people will endorse your product, but getting buy-in from these athletes and these endorsers. Like Bubba will sit there and tell you he loves the product, he uses the product, it helps him. And it was interesting when we did our launch with Bubba on May 1st at the New York Stock Exchange. He said something to a reporter, and he said, I'm looking to extend my career. And if you think about that, right, as opposed to I have an ailment I'm looking to fix or alleviate or get better, I'm going to extend my career. And that's such a powerful thing, right? Because now you're talking about, that's real money, right? And so, when you can potentially take a product, right, and that product helps you do that, your return on investment on that is just remarkable, right? So whether it's Bubba, whether it's Lolo Jones, Carrie Walsh Jennings, who these are Carrie's, she's in her 6th Olympics. It's like unbelievable, right? And she's at it again, and we hope she's going to do great. We're really excited about it. The big sports leagues, the football, baseball, basketball, hockey, we think they're right around the corner.
I think so.
Many athletes, I can't say who it is, but one of the biggest name basketball players out there, and is said to us the other day, I take it.
LeBron James?
No, it's not LeBron. He said, I take it. I said, well, wait a second. They don't. He said, I take it. So the point is that it's already out there. It's prevalent. The great thing about us is we're no THC, right? So we don't put any THC in our product.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, well, but here's the deal. There's a lot of brands out there that do, and if you're taking it every day and it builds up, the next thing you know, you're going to fail a drug test. And if you're Bubba, or you're any of our athletes, or you're an executive, or anybody that gets drug tested, you're a truck driver, whatever it is, that's a major problem. So we can't have that happen to our customers. And, whether it's a Bubba on one end, or, as I said, a truck driver on the other end, or school teacher, or whatever, that's a commitment we made to them. And so that's really allowing us to grow the brand in places that normally, wouldn't take a product with THC. Like our athletic push has allowed us to get into Lifetime Fitness, which is, I don't know if you've ever been to a Lifetime.
I have not.
You got to go. I mean, I cannot tell you how amazing that company is and how amazing their facilities are. I mean, it's cool. Just, if you like to work out, it is Disneyland of working out. There's everything but a golf course. It's just unbelievable. And the people are so professional. The people are so nice. Their systems, as a businessman, I walk in there, I look at things differently than just working out. They just got it so nailed down. And it starts from the top. The founders are there, and they're amazing people. And so, they looked at us as, again, credibility, New York Stock Exchange listing, our growth, and no THC, and all the athletes that use us. And so we launched with them a couple of months ago.
Congratulations!
It was huge.
That's huge.
And we're in all the. We currently we don't sell any products in it. It was a marketing promotion, and we're in all the facilities. So you see us everywhere. Our banners everywhere, on all the digital, everything like that. Now they have 2 million active members, so it's a huge group of people that we can, potential market to sell to. But now. The consumer base is saying, hey, wait a second, where's the product inside the stores, right? Inside the fitness centers. And so now we were going to take a little bit of time before we went and did it to sort of evaluate, see what everybody was buying, be very, cognizant of what the demands were. But everybody's walking in. Like I walk in, I wear a cbdMD T-shirt or a hat. People are like, "Hey, you're the cbdMD guy." Where do I get it? How can I? It's not here. So that's going to happen sooner than later. And
I think that's great because when you go into a gym and you need that muscle recovery, maybe you got aches and pains.
Right.
You need that cream.
What's crazy is that I didn't know this, but. They have spas inside these things. And the spas are like, if you walk into a Four Seasons, it's unbelievable how beautiful these spas are. And you can go there even if you're not a member. So the statistic I heard is they're now one of the largest spa chains in North America because of it. So we're hopefully going to be inside all the spas, inside all of their they have the cafes, which do huge volumes of business, So you get, energy drinks and bars and everything. It's unbelievable. So they just do such a great job. So we're going to be in there. So we're excited about that vertical. And now we've got sporting goods stores and everybody else catching on and wanting to carry. And it all started with the concept that, we were going to go the athletic route, and we were going to build that roster of team cbdMD athletes, surfers, skateboarders, because you couldn't do the main groups because you're not allowed, under the.
But it goes together. CBD and athletes go together, especially with muscle recovery and having that. For me, I know CBD keeps me more alert and. I get that clarity. I have less joint pain. So, of course, surfing, skateboarding, basketball, hockey, they all
MMA.
Football. Yeah. All the brain injuries that people get, wrestlers.
Right.
We need this stuff.
It's funny because, the joke was, you're sitting there and you're looking and your older mother or grandmother, she has a, ailment, and you think to yourself, okay, well, Rampage Jackson, who's one of our first global ambassadors, Rampage
awesome.
is getting punched in the face every day, right? And he uses it for his recovery. It's probably good for my grandmother's elbow, right?
My grandma uses it.
Right. So it's like, that kind of connection is really powerful, and so and it's funny because if you met Rampage, he's this huge guy, he's like this legendary fighter, and he loves our bath bombs. Like he puts 15, 16 in his ice baths after he works out. So here's this huge
unique.
guy. He's getting in this ice bath, and he's got cbdMD bath bombs, and it's really cute. So great guy.
That's super exciting. You guys have the distribution. Yeah. You have the brand ambassadors. You guys are growing rapidly.
Yeah.
2020 is going to be huge for you guys.
Yeah, we think that 2020 is a huge year.
What are you going to expect? What's the rollout for 2020?
So when we originally got into the business in December of last year, we really didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. We literally acquired the brand and brought it in and made it cbdMD the day after the Farm Bill was signed. The New York said you can't close the deal until the Farm Bill is signed because of all the regulatory and legal issues. So we waited, and Trump signed it at 4:30 on a Thursday. We closed the next morning at 9 a.m. And so we didn't really know. It was a brand new industry. What are you going to do? And the brand was doing $800,000 a month in sales. So it wasn't that big, but it had grown from zero 8 months earlier. So we said, okay, well, let's think about $20 million in 2019, and let's think about $40 million in 2020, right? And then it kind of, you kind of step it up from there, but you really don't know. You're making a really educated guess, but a real guess, because it's a brand new industry. You don't know what's going to happen. Legislation. We had no retailers at that point. It was all online. So we're happy that we've exceeded every expectation. So I think we've said we're going to do 35 million this year. We're looking at doubling that, or more certainly next year, which is amazing. I mean, but that number for next year, I mean, that number could be much bigger, because you don't know who's going to show up and say, hey, I want your product, right? So we announced the other day that we have 4,000 retail distribution points. A lot of these are smaller places. We haven't gone the big box route yet, and we did that to some extent on purpose. We recognize that route is, once you get into that channel, I mean, it's a great thing to have. Listen, the Walgreens, the Eckerd's, Costco's,
CVS,
all the CVS, you obviously want to be there. And as a goal, we want to be in all those places. But, early on in an industry, there's a lot of pitfalls from getting into there, and these guys get spooked easily. And, there was an FDA chatter the last couple of weeks, which made people nervous. And so, when you have a distribution which is made up of a lot of little people, right? You don't have your eggs in one basket, right? So we've kind of done it the hard way. We've done it, the road less traveled. We've gone out and built an entire sales force of 40 plus, dedicated salespeople who are on the phone every single day, at our headquarters, calling, vape shops, calling spas, calling gyms, calling small retails, compound pharmacies, all this stuff. And these people are buying the product, putting it on their shelves. The great thing is they're paying up front, so we don't have to get any terms.
Cash and
right?
delivery,
So we
love that.
We have no problems. And now we're getting the bigger places, right? So we announced the retailer with 330 doors is our biggest one. We just loaded that. Lifetime is 140. We're going to be announcing, over the next, month or two, some bigger places. So it's continuing to grow. But there's a lot of stores out, and it's a big country. There's hundreds of thousands of smaller stores out there that want to carry CBD product because it's selling, and they love our marketing. We have internally we have this kind of this. It's not really a joke. It's more of advice to our salespeople. Look, when you're sitting down with a retailer and they say, well, we're already carrying 2 or 3 products, we're not interested in carrying more CBD products, ask the question, okay, what does that brand do to market that product outside, so when the customer walks in, says, I'm looking for that name, and then shut up. Don't say a word. Because the answer is, there's nobody doing what we're doing. There really isn't. Even the bigger competitors that we have, and I'm not going to name them, there's 1 or 2 other ones. They really
I know
don't.
you want to name them.
No, they really don't. They really don't. The couple of them have first mover advantage on us, but we're catching them. Brand wise, Brightfield Group, which is the most recognized industry leader in the CBD space as far as their industry knowledge. They're kind of the Standard & Poor's, I guess, of the CBD and cannabis space. They called us 3 weeks ago and they said, hey, listen, just want you to know, we just completed a survey of 3,500 CBD users, and you guys got the #1 customer service brand, #1 brand rating. And we're like, wow, that's amazing.
Incredible.
So I went straight upstairs to our head of customer service, Crystal. Shout out to her. She's awesome.
Hi, Crystal.
And said, congratulations. This is you. I mean, this is you. You did this, You are amazing at doing what you do, And, the customer service team we have is 24/7, so we handle all that. But so that was huge. And having that brand recognition. Like today, we just put out a press release about how our pet line, which we haven't talked about, just got an award for, one of the best product. So yeah, products matter, right? Products matter. Like when an industry is growing like the CBD industry, like, you've got a $300-400 million industry growing to a $25 billion industry, right? The rising tide lifts all the boats, right? So Marty and Jennifer's brand, can sell.
We're definitely doing this.
Yeah, so we can sell, but here's what happens: you get to a point where you kind of top out, right? Because for a variety of reasons, you can't handle the scale or whatever, and then the big players have to take over, and brand is critical. We talk about that consistently, which is, define our company in one word, and it's brand, right? We believe that in any new industry on the consumer, product side, ultimately the brand that really makes it, and there's usually two or three of them. I think energy drinks, right? When energy drinks started 30 years ago, then all of a sudden everybody had an energy drink. And now I think 4 of them make up 80% of the sales, right?
I don't like
Red Bull,
energy drinks.
Monster, So those are the ones that succeed. So my partner who started cbdMD, Scott Kaufman, has a great historical example in his career. In 2009, before anybody really launched into the e-cigarette space, Scott saw it, and he started a company called Blue. And in 36 months, he built the largest e-cigarette brand in the United States. It was before Juul ever showed up on the scene, and kind of ruined it for everybody. But and then Lorillard, the big tobacco company, bought him out, on month 37, right? And all Scott did, if you talk to Scott, he said, look, all we cared about was brand, right? We wanted to be the brand. So when the tobacco giant showed up and said, okay, we're going to buy you, and he cut the deal. Why? Because 62% of social media was Blue at the time. So if you went on, it was Blue was everywhere. You typed in e-cigarette, it was Blue, Blue, Blue. So that's the same thing we're doing. So we have a company called Meltwater that is that goes out and looks at your brand versus all the other brands in the entire media market, right? So television, radio, even though you can't do television ads, but social media, all the stuff, and they give a ranking, right? And they say your brand is 1 to 100, right? And we got the highest ranking. They call it M score, right? And so we beat out the big competitor out there. I'm not going to say their name. And so we beat them out, right? And they've been around for like 6 or 7 years, and we've been around for a little over a year. So it's a huge testament to our team and how hard everybody works and our strategy, right? And it all kind of works together, so you got the team cbdMD, you've got our product that we talked about it. Now we try to be the affordable product, right? So you go on our website and you see that we keep our pricing usually under where everybody else is. We have great margins. We have a 63% margin. So there's enough money to be made. So, but we feel that puts us in a really good competitive advantage, because if you have somebody that wants to come try CBD for the first time, and the person's going to look and see 2 products, right? And there's no national brand, let's say, so they never heard of either one. But one's $45 and one's $35. Odds are they're going to pick the $35, assuming everything else, there's not a skull and crossbone on one or something like that. So, that's been an important part of our strategy as well. So it all works together, and so far we're having just, incredible success.
Seriously, and you guys have like really great intentions behind the product, which I really love. Good intentions, wanting to help people.
Yeah.
Have you had some real testimonials, like any success stories or healing stories that you can share?
Well, that's part of the issue, is we can't really talk about it. We do have a lot of testimonials up on our website. People come in, they put stuff all the time, and then the lawyers take it down. Because of, you have the whole FDA situation out there and sort of this cloud of uncertainty. And I understand why the FDA is doing what they're doing, because, their job is to protect people. That's their job, and they're needed. And unfortunately, when you get into an industry that's new and is growing like us, you get a lot of bad actors in the neighborhood. And people ask me, like, what do I worry about? And you worry sometimes about things you can't control, and the things you can't control is that, right? Look, we saw, just on an aside to give you an example, we saw what happened, 90 days ago in the vaping industry, right? So whether you like vaping or not like vaping, that's not really the issue. The issue is that what happened in vaping, a bunch of bad actors put bad stuff inside of pods. People smoked them thinking they were getting something, and they got very sick in many cases, not many, but too many, died. Okay. And so the first rush was, okay, we're gonna ban vaping, right? Well, that's like saying, okay, well, we're gonna ban cars because of drunk drivers. Has nothing to do with vaping. Vaping, is, studies have shown it's safer than smoking. So you have this bizarre thing that happened where, like, a Walmart, right, is like, we're taking all the vaping off our shelves. Hey, go put the Marlboro back. Mm-hmm. Really? We know cigarettes kill you. That's absolute fact. Now, you can argue we don't have long-term studies on vaping, which I would say, okay, I agree with that. But there's enough studies, particularly in England now, where doctors are trying to move everybody over to vaping like crazy, and it's become a nationalized thing to try to do. But the point of the story is that bad actors, and then you get the flare up from the politicians and the regulatory people, and now 90 days later, find out, well, this is what happened. They put vitamin E in there.
The product.
Exactly. And so that industry took it on the chin for a while. So I think, that's our fear, right? And odds are it's going to happen. Odds are somebody is going to do that. I was in a meeting 6 months ago with the hedge fund manager. He brings in a bottle, and he says, have you ever heard of this? And I look at it, and I said, never heard of it. And he said, what do you think of it? And I read on the side of it, and it says, lowers the risk of cancer, helps, heart disease, all this. Take 15 to 20 pills twice a day, and it's $750, and they're selling it in health food stores in California. And I think this is a huge problem for the industry, right? This is what the FDA needs to go. So you saw a couple weeks ago, the FDA sent out 15 warning letters to CBD companies. These were all pretty much smaller CBD companies. And so our lawyers read it, and I read a couple of them, and it's all about making statements, right? You can't make health claims. We don't make health claims, right? And so, testimonials, to your point, we get incredible testimonials. We have some testimonials that, are, people wrote us letters about giving, their kids CBD, and we don't even care that it's our product, but they help, their kids. And as a parent of 4, it was just great to see, but we can't promote it. We're not going to. And we're a ways off from doing that. It needs to be more studies and all the other stuff.
That's why we have our show. So
That's
we can
right.
share these real success stories.
That's right. So you have to follow the rules, right? You have to follow the rules. And so from the regulatory environment, the FDA has to, either go through their, rulemaking process, right? Which is, usually 3 to 5 years, takes a lot of time. We would prefer that they go the second route, which is that, Congress would just mandate to them, okay, like the World Health Organization did a report on CBD where they said, safe limits for daily usage, okay, was, I think they said 600 milligrams, okay? So, like you see, if you look on an ibuprofen, it'll say don't take more than X amount a day, right? It's pretty much everywhere, right? Most of these things have it, right? We don't have that in CBD because a lot of the studies haven't been done, but the World Health Organization report says it. And by the way, the United States paid for most of that. So, that would be really helpful if Congress in there, we have met with senators and a lot of the senators who have helped with the hemp side of it, right? Because hemp is farming and we want to help farmers. And so, we're hopeful that they can, they can talk to, the regulatory bodies and have them, maybe use the World Health Organization report and at least come up and solve, put some clarity to the dosing issue, which is one of the biggest questions that people ask us. And you have to be very careful. We don't even really talk about that. We have to refer it to, third-party sites and stuff like that to be ultra careful. So, we're still in that, cloudy regulatory environment. We think that's going to stay for a little bit of time. Ironically, it helps a company like us because, while it's still in the cloudy environment, it keeps the big players out. So once that cloud rises, what's going to happen? The big players are going to all come in, and what are they going to do? They're going to look for the brands, right? And if you have the leading brand, the big guys don't do good in creating stuff, right? I mean, just look at like a Coke, for instance, right? I'm not picking on them. I'm a huge Coke fan, but they just go out and buy products, right? I mean, that's what they do. A lot of these guys, they don't innovate, so that's kind of where we see, sort of the picture going, just keep building, keep doing the right thing. And at the right time, hopefully somebody's going to come and give us a big check. And I was going to be completely honest about it.
You will. So I actually used to work in a dispensary in California.
Okay.
And it was my job to be kind of like the gatekeeper of the dispensary. Like whoever wanted to put their products on the shelves had to
You
come
were like
through
the pot
me.
boss there?
Yeah,
Is that what you
the pot boss. So I had to try everything.
You had to.
I had to.
You had to, yeah.
So, I, like you said, you can't really give testimonials, but you can give recommendations, like being that person in the shop. And I helped a lot of people, but you can't share their stories. Like you said, you can't make these claims.
Right.
But I had so many beautiful success stories, people walking in, talking about how CBD saved their lives.
Yeah, I mean, we get it all the time. I mean, it's consistent. Look, I take the product because I was trying to keep up with my teenage kids playing basketball, and they're much bigger than me, and they're stronger than me. Well, they should be, right? Because they're
That's awesome, by the way.
And I tore my labrum in my shoulder, and I take it, but listen, I still have to get surgery, right? It's not like, I'm going to take CBD, and now all of a sudden it's like my broken leg is fixed, right? That's not what it is. But for me, it's helped. It's helped reduce that. Anybody that has a torn muscle that's waiting to get surgery, particularly a shoulder, which I can't believe how much you don't think about it until you have a problem with it, but whether you reach into the back seat of the car, or you hit the golf club wrong, and you have this like sharp flare-up pain.
It's the worst.
You just have, for me at least, right, there's some comfort for that, right? And I believe it's the CBD that I'm taking.
I had a dislocated clavicle.
Oh, really? Wow.
Ooh, that hurt.
How'd
that
that
really
happen?
hurt. I fell down the stairs a couple years ago,
Oh,
and I can't make any claims. But
was
CBD
after you were
helped me.
trying the product at the dispensary.
But I really actually held myself. 6 months, I committed to putting on a topical, ingesting CBD, ingesting cannabis, and it was 6 months of just like physical therapy, acupuncture, taking the CBD. I was actually able to avoid surgery.
Oh, wow.
On my clavicle, because I'm like,
So
I'm
it
young.
healed.
I don't want surgery. Really?
Yeah.
Come
Right.
on, doc. No, thank you.
The worst part about it is the recovery process
The
afterward.
worst. And then
I mean, you got to go come every other day. You got to go for an hour. You sit there and they stretch you and everything else. Yeah, it's.
I think the acupuncture also helped. The combination. Yeah, that definitely helped. You should I don't know. Have you tried acupuncture?
I have not.
Acupuncture, and then also vibrational therapy. That
really?
also really helped. Like standing on one of those like shake plates. That really shook up the lymphatic system, and it helped my shoulder.
Wow.
So I don't know. I'm really big into all the natural remedies.
Well,
Instead of
that's okay.
going to get surgery and cut me open, I'm like, no, I'll do it naturally.
Well, if you think about what's happening in the United States, we are just absolutely addicted to medication, right? I mean, look at what's happening, whether it's the painkiller epidemic or just everything, And so having natural products that work, right, is like, people are searching for that, And now, does it make the pharmaceutical companies happy?
Not at all.
Jim Cramer, Jim Cramer, Street.com, and famous guy on CNBC, he's a huge CBD fan. And they've done a couple interviews with us as people, and we ship them product, and he's a big pet fan too. But he believes it helps him with his sleep. And his comment wasn't it's on tape. He said, I think this is going to put Lou Mesta out of business, right? Now you think about that statement, right? That's not some guy. That's a big time guy. Those guys, that's a cut into their world, right? And so it's going to be interesting to see this industry develop. It's going to be really interesting, and so we're excited to be one of the leaders in it. We hope that we're doing everything right because that's a responsibility you have when you're a leader in an industry and customers are relying on you for health and wellness, right? That's a big responsibility, you know. So we take it seriously, and we're excited about, you know, just we see so many potential opportunities, you know, with the product, you know, and so. I won't give it away, but we got a really cool couple of products coming out next year.
Really?
You know? Yeah, really cool.
I'm all about products. I'm literally a product junkie. So if you come to my house, it's like I have so many products.
Right.
I'm obsessed.
Well, you look at the iPhone, right? Look at what Apple did, right? Apple did because they got great products.
They
right?
really do.
You know, that's why, you know, I think they've done such a great job as a business, and so we look at that and we say that, you know, we talk about it. It's our number one thing for 2020, products. You know, that's critical. So we're
good ingredients, good packaging.
You gotta. So if we don't grow, you know, that we don't grow hemp, we don't process. We buy the finished product from processors. So, you know, we're very careful on who we deal with now, because if you think about it, you know, we're a main ingredient business, so CBD, right? I mean, it's like so where we source it, who grows it, looking at that kind of seed to sale is a critical piece of our you know, of our company. So we really take great pains to make sure that who we're buying from is credible. We do a lot of testing. I mean, we test just everything. It's a great funny story. I got a funny story. So we were doing we launched a pet line early this year under the cbdMD brand, which we changed in July to Paw, because it was like, you know, the human and the pet shouldn't really have the same name. But when we were starting it, we couldn't find pet companies, manufacturers, because we outsourced that. We outsourced that and our gummies, everything else we do in-house. We couldn't find a manufacturer that could do our pet treats, you know, our dog treats, and, you know, the little, and so we were using like places with like commercial kitchens, you know, they were like making 10,000 peanut butter dog treats, you know, and shipping it to us, and then we bag them, and so we had this one operator, I think they were in Florida, and they never had done CBD, right? So, you know, to be fair to them. And so we would get, you know, our CBD and figure out how many we needed per, and, you know, we'd ship them, you know, whatever, kilo, 2 kilos or whatever, and they knew how to mix it and bake it and package it. And so we test everything. So we got like 100,000 dog treats brought up, and, you know, and we're starting to, and so we send them out, you know, and we get the different lots tested to come back, and there's no CBD in this lot of treats. And so we called down and we're like, hey, did you guys forget the CBD? And you just imagine, right? The guy's on the phone and he's like looking down. He's like, yep, we forgot the CBD. They forgot the CBD. So they had to throw them all out, redid them. They were very nice, gave us more, you know, for the same cost. But that's just a story about, you know, making sure you're new industry, testing, you know, just some of the things that happen in a brand new industry. But yeah, it's testing is critical, you know, making sure that you have all the right, you know, what you say is in the bottle needs to be in the bottle, and nothing more or nothing less.
Yeah, and there's a huge difference, you guys, between hemp oil and CBD oil.
100%.
And I feel like a lot of customers and consumers are getting so confused, especially when it comes to ordering on the internet.
100%.
What am I getting?
You're so right. I mean, you are so right, and you're very knowledgeable. Most people have no idea, and so you even have. I think Amazon, you know,
I know,
wouldn't let us put CBD, even though it's the name of our company, and it's the name of our brand too, which we thought was a great idea, by the way. I mean, so many brands out there, you know, I pick on this one, but I'm not going to do it on TV. But they got this name of their brand, and it's like, what the hell is that, right? If you don't know and you're looking at it, you're like, what is that, right? What? I mean, one of the biggest companies just came out, a Canadian company, I won't say their name, Canopy. And they said they're getting into the CBD business, and they came out with their brand name of their CBD product. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who just thought of that name.
I think Drake did.
Did he really?
He just acquired like 64%
okay. Well,
of the
I'm not
company.
going to mess with Drake, but for us, it's real simple. It starts with our name, right? I mean, you know our name. You know what the product is, right? And it's catchy, and people remember it. So I don't know what I was talking about. Got sidetracked on that, but
you're passionate as well. I mean, I love the industry.
Oh, you were talking about hemp and how it's different than CBD.
Yeah,
but the retailers, the online guys like Amazon, were like, oh no, you can't. You got to call it. If you change your name to hemp, we'll put you on Amazon. We're like, we're not changing.
Yeah, it's like we love you, Amazon, but like you have to be a little bit like I think.
Well, that's starting to change. They're starting to wisen up. But they're a big, huge company. I mean, they got to protect. And I get that. So
I mean, there's benefits of hemp oil, but it's not going to be the same as CBD oil, especially when it comes to skincare. Like if I go to Amazon, it would be to order some kind of like beauty product, right? And I'm not going to order. I love CBD skincare, so I'm not going to go on Amazon and order hemp oil skincare because it's not going to do any good for me. I mean, that's just my opinion of like hemp and skincare. I like CBD isolate. I want the isolate in the skincare, so I can get like the wrinkle-free type of feel.
There you go.
But I feel like there's just so much confusion.
Right.
You can cook with hemp oil. It is the oil of the seed. It's not. I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting. The market is interesting. I think right now it's a funny space.
Yeah, it is, and we're we're at the top of the first inning, so to speak, right?
Totally.
And there's just a lot of game left, and it's going to be, when we looked at, we knew we wanted to get into the CBD business. We just were trying to figure out, I always say the CBD industry is a 3-lane highway, right? Lane 1 is you can grow it and process it. Lane 3 is you can do the pharmaceutical route, and the only one that's been successful is GW Pharma on their Epidiolex pill, which they did a great job on. And lane 2 is the the consumer goods lane, and that's the lane we live in, and we just constantly get bombarded with people. Well, would you buy a processor? Would you do this? Would you get out of your lane? And we're like, look, we are like the horse with blinders on, right, running down the Kentucky Derby. We're totally focused, and that's what you have to be, But there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of noise about product, a lot of noise, and education is huge.
Education is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, so my family, my cousin, she's like, she's a nurse.
Yeah.
So she runs the RN. The conversation that we had over Thanksgiving, so I'm like the homeopathic, holistic, person from California trying to talk about CBD at the dinner table.
Who, by the way, looks like Marissa Tomei. That's what I just realized. Doesn't she? She kind of does.
I've gotten that so many times, especially in New York bars.
It just hit me when you were talking.
Marissa.
I was like, I'm going to, okay.
I get this all the time.
All right, keep going. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a compliment. I love her. But the conversation at the dinner table with my cousin who works in the she's the nurse versus like the homeopathic, holistic Cali girl, it got kind of, it's like, okay, I think I gotta step away because I got heated because we were talking about education and she's like, there's no clinical trials and there's no real testimonials and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, Nicole, I'm gonna step away because I'm so passionate about it. And I feel like that's like the conversation that we really need to have is like, okay, why am I gonna take an Advil when I can take the CBD oil that's gonna help with my migraine?
Right.
My grandmother, she has like mobility issues. I don't want her to take painkillers. I want her to take the CBD oil. So I'll be like, Grandma, open up. She's like, okay, CBD nurse. And I'm like, open up. And then she'll be like, oh, she'll make a face and then she'll swallow the oil. But she is even feeling better. So, I mean, I think it's just having those conversations. And
education.
Education and sharing your stories, your success stories. And I'm not afraid to share my success stories. That's why I think that's why we started this, this show, is to spotlight people in the industry that are doing the right thing,
right?
Success stories, healing, and of course, like the positives, and not focusing on the negatives in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to be positive for, so it's great.
Thanks.
Love your show.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Oh, I appreciate it. So, I mean, I know you have Bubba Watson, all these big celebrities and all these athletes, but if you ever would like to have a TV host be one of your brand ambassadors.
I don't see why not. A Marissa
Tomei
That's
type.
right. That's right. That's right. be educator in chief. You know?
Yes.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by Sparkz. It's all about sparking, conversation in the space, and we totally appreciate you coming by
Thank
to
you
hang
so
out with
much.
us. I loved everything that you had to say about the industry, and I love that you guys are about branding, good intentions, having great people, customer service, longevity,
Yeah.
and good ingredients. So I love it.
We're happy to come back and update you as we get new
Yes,
products.
please.
I'll bring the new products.
Totally.
I'll
We
make
love-
sure you test them first.
Yes.
So I have your own testimonial, not ours, but you can.
Or
do
we
it.
can bring our camera crew to your
can bring the camera crew, come
facility,
down to Charlotte.
manufacturers.
Love
yeah.
to host you in Charlotte. You'd love
That'd
our
be cool.
operation. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. So you can check out cbdMD. Hopefully soon it will be available in Lifetime.
Yeah, it's going to be very soon in Lifetime, but 4,000 different retail points, and of course cbdMD.com, free shipping. We get it out
Free
the next
shipping.
day.
Great holiday gift.
Great holiday gift, and we just announced that we had the biggest Black Friday. We sold 12,300 orders in 100 hours.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we were flooded.
That's major.
It's huge. It's huge. It's the biggest 5 days we've ever had.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's been. We got a lot of people working 24/7 to fill all those orders.
Seriously. Great stocking stuffer. CBDMD. Go check them out. Of course, give them a follow on Instagram,
Please do.
because social media is everything. And of course, you can check out our full interview on our YouTube channel. This is Sparkz. I'm your host, Jennifer Tapiero. And would you like to introduce yourself as well and say
I'm
goodbye to
Marty
everybody?
Sumichrast. I'm the chairman and co-CEO of cbdMD. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for that conversation. I liked it.
Great.
It was really good.